I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to run away from running away. I didn't know where to go. I didn't have anywhere. I didn't have anyone. So I kind of like just, this is my life. And then I was on my way up north, as they say, went to prison. I had 20 years old. It was there that I found so many other women, young women, like myself, older women. They were so abused and nobody paid them any attention. No one helped them. And it just started dawning on me, why? Something's wrong. And that's when I started saying, something's wrong here. We have to do better than this. We can't be abusing kids, sex trafficking kids. I couldn't believe how cruel the world could be like that. It just didn't make sense to me. I had hundreds of women in prison that had very similar stories. Just didn't make sense. It still doesn't make sense. And when I got there, most of those women at that time were in there for snapping or defending themselves against the person that was abusing them for decades. And there were some that were so abused like me that were caught up into something they couldn't get out of because of the abuse. The root of everything was abuse. And that's what we see happening across the globe, right? We see what's happening across our border here, how we see this influx of people. They're running away from the abuse that they're suffering. These are kids. And then to put them in cages, that's not okay. So as any child, just wanting to see a magical place and just have that experience, what child wouldn't want that? And so at 7, when they finally brought me to America, I'm thinking, ooh, I'm gonna go see Disneyland. I was happy. I found out that Roy Hilton especially would go to Jamaica, but sometimes as a couple, he and Daphne, looking for children, saying that they had a home for children. Whoever wanted to send their children to America, like they would give them a better opportunity. So they had this kind of foster care kind of conversation with people in Jamaica, but it turned into a nightmare. I finished showering and I knocked on Roy's door, my adopted father's door, and I told him that I was having a lot of pain. My chest was hurting, and I didn't know why. And then he said to me, "Do you want me to make it feel better?" And I said yes. And when I said yes, he said, "Okay." He said, "I'm gonna make it feel better." Don't tell anyone. Almost every day he would take me into the closet until he stopped taking me into the closet and just took me to his bed, to their bed. So in spite of the stuff that was going on at home, I did continue to do as best as I could to manage school. The abuse didn't stop. It was Sister Mary that, she became a mentor. She became my advocate, of course, my mother, but she allowed me, she helped me find my voice and to speak up and let me know it was okay. Her whole entire life she fought. She dedicated to fighting. She said people didn't need to be incarcerated. They need help. They need support. They needed to be believed, especially women. They needed to be believed. And prison was not the answer. And so that's how I started my activism. It was because of her and following her footsteps. And now, founder of an organization, right, a little piece of light, that we do that kind of work that my mother helped me with. And so my team, you see them right here. We have Tanya, we have Tracy, Devontae, and Stacy right behind me. And this is just some of us. And we're here doing this work because we've all lived it in some way in our advocacy. For those who are not able to tell their stories, tell their truths, we have to stand up. And we know it's important because we continue to see a country that would rather put you away in prison than help you. We were instrumental with the Domestic Violence Survivors Justice Act, DVSJA. When I was inside to help draft it, came out, helped advocate for it, and we were up in Albany fighting. We finally got it passed after 10 years, 10 plus years. The Domestic Violence Survivors Justice Act allows those that are incarcerated, if they had any significant trauma or abuse in their lives, they can get a sentence reduction. Because one of the things we're saying is that the severe trauma that a person goes through should not result in incarceration, especially if no one helped them. Yes, you have to be held accountable, but you need help as well. You need that support, you need that. So you shouldn't have to spend the rest of your life in prison.